I had an opportunity to talk to some of the coaches about him. Same skill set as a Trevor Ariza. They think he's a little more fine-tuned offensively. Character, they say just a rebounding machine, had the ability to do a double-double in the summer league, but a guy they expect to do some great things. Blake, we see running up and down the court, and they're hoping that Luke Walton can get healthy and give them a few minutes. And he's moving pretty well out on the floor right now.
Yeah, you see Luke Walton moving up and down the court. That was something. It was actually pretty funny to watch Kupchak turn and look behind him to see, is Luke on the court today? I'm not even sure, and that's the way it's been with him. His health's been such a question.
He said something that I like a lot. When you keep your core together, you keep the core group of guys that won the championship together. You look back to the Chicago team. Those guys did not allow that Chicago team to stay together. They broke that team up when I thought they might have had one more run at a championship. So Mitch, and I give Dr. Gus credit as well. They're doing a very good thing here. Keep your core together, just add on the core. And because this team wins so much, it's very difficult to build your team through the draft. You have to have very smart scouts out there because they picked up two guys that I think in the draft that have a great chance of making this team.
Again, we've got a couple of these guys mic'd for you here today, so there's a reason why you are hearing practice so crisply and cleanly behind us here. Ron Artest has a microphone. Sasha Vujacic has a microphone on for us as well. Talking about the additions, you know, we kind of joked about the whole Miami thing and this team not getting a lot of attention, but look, you're looking at a team that's won back-to-back championships, and I think if it were not for the Miami situation, people would be looking like, are you kidding me? Because I think these pieces that they've added are strong pieces.
Well, when you poll most people, they think Miami is just going to walk up and get the championship. It's not going to happen like that. They do have a very good core with Bosh, James, and Wade. Those three guys average over 80 points, 20 rebounds, and 16 assists between them. But you still have to have depth, and you still have to have big men. That they don't have. They did a good job in adding Juwan Howard and Mike Miller. But again, you need those big guys. They have McGlory and Negaskas, but they're not dominant guys that can play down low. When you compare them to this Laker team with a Bynum and a Pau Gasol, you go up and you look at Boston now. You know, they added Jermaine O'Neal, they added Shaq. Those are some big bodies. Orlando, they still can't, they don't have an answer for Howard. So the front line is not as strong as you would like it to be. You look at Bosh, yes, he's 6'11", but he's light. He's not a big power player. So again, that's going to be one of their weaknesses.
Well, Phil Jackson talked about the fact that individuals don't win a championship. It is very much a team game, and he's in mid-season form. He's already taken a few shots at the East Coast before training camp even got underway here.
He screamed at us earlier, didn't he?
Yeah, he was telling us to quiet it down over here in the corner for sure. Talking about that team basketball, what they have in Boston, I think that would be the other team people will look at near the top, you know, and adding Shaq to that. Were you surprised to see that? It's funny because so many people gave Miami a hard time with these three guys kind of, you know, people use the word colluding to go play together, and how it wouldn't have happened back in the old days. Well, Shaq was a guy who was a Laker and was so known for playing here. Now he's going to play for Boston. I mean, it's almost like, you know, you can't believe a guy would go do that.
What is he, the Big Leprechaun? Did he come up with his nickname? Yeah, I like the Big Leprechaun. You know, Shaq is such a fun-loving guy. You have to like him. But in order for Shaq to be really effective, he needs to really get himself in shape. I think the last few years he's not gotten the type of conditioning that he's capable of if we spend the offseason working out. He did a decent job, I thought, in Phoenix. He got down. He got a little light there. In Cleveland, he never turned that corner. But I've heard he's dedicated himself this summer. He's a lot lighter. And if Shaq can lose some weight and get himself in condition, he could be a big help to this Boston team.
That is definitely going to be interesting to see him in that Celtics green. That is for sure something that will be strange for Lakers fans, no doubt. You know, Paul Pierce actually had his high school jersey retired here in Inglewood, and he was here not long ago in LA talking about the addition of Shaq and how excited he was about it. And again, another thing a little out of sorts, a guy like Paul Pierce, known for being a Celtic, getting a jersey retired in Los Angeles, of course, albeit at his high school, but his jersey was retired in LA.
Well, he's a local guy.
Yeah.
I remember Paul from high school and playing in the gyms with him. He was a young guy. I was still playing at those times. So I remember playing with him, and also when he went to Kansas. Very good player, and really surprised me because I didn't expect him to play as well as he did once he got into the NBA. And again, he walked in from day one, consistently 20-plus point scorer per game, and with a lot of heart.
Let's see if we can listen in here to what they're going to do in this drill.
Ball swung and loose. Driving on catch, all right? You're dropping down. Who's guarding this man?
Fish not here. Fish is.
He's 2 passes away, so B is right here where he should be. All right? You're in here now. All right? 2.9 now. Okay? Because he is what? 1, 2, 3 passes away. All right? So what we're going to do to start out here is just swing the basketball. All right?
So if you're taking a look at this drill, basically what this drill is, it's a defensive positioning drill. When you're 1 pass away from the ball, Shannon Brown has the ball now. See Derek Fisher now. Now he's 1 pass away, you drop. When you're 2 passes away, you need to be two men away from the ball. So it's a defensive positioning drill. That's what you're watching.
I got you here, I got you,
I'm back. You see the weak side dropping when the ball's in the opposite corner. You see our test now dropping. Test should be in the middle for 2.9 and back out.
You got him. I got ball.
All right, good. All right.
The other basic fundamental about defense, you have to talk on defense. I have the ball, you're by yourself, watch your hip right, watch your hip left. So this is basically a fundamental defensive drill.
So again, I'm going to go back to you on this as they switch the players and go back through what we believe will be the same drill.
Yeah.
When you're 2 players away from the ball, you've got to collapse more and get ready to go over and help.
A general rule is if you're 1 pass away, you're 1 man away. If you're 2 passes away, you're 2 men away.
Right.
So that's a general rule. Now that varies a little bit depending upon the talents of the individual player, but that's your general rule that you play with. When you see the ball in the opposite corner, you'll see the guy guarding the guy in that far corner all the way up under the basket.
Right.
He has no need to be hugging his man.
A little bit to the left. Like that, yeah.
You see Odom there shifting in the lane back and forth.
Now he's on his guy, and you see the rest of the guys dropping. Ball guy on his man, and you hear a lot of talking.
And this all changed when the zone defense came into play, too, in terms of how far you could be away from
Well, you can't break the plane or how long you can be in the lane. You have to be on it. You can't break the plane at a basket when the ball's opposite.
Arrive on catch. Arrive on catch. If you're already there, you're extended. But if you're late, arrive on catch. Right? But if you're already on the strong side from initial.
So you can deny, but once your man catches that,
Now, what's probably different, I'm not sure if training camp still structured the same way as when I was going to training camp. You'd have one practice that would focus heavily on defense, and then the other practice would focus more on offense. I'm seeing they did their conditioning drills earlier. Now they're focusing on defensive drills. Let's see if most of these other drills will be defensive drills.
Set personnel out here.
It's character up under the
Characters
basket.
under
Character
the
under the
basket.
basket. Matt Barnes.
Yep. See Walton out there as well. You know, I spotted character and I want to make sure I had the right guy as he was walking on the court, because you could hear in the background, Coach Person is mic'd up for us as well. He and Ron Artest were talking to character while he was off the court about the drill and giving him tips on and some help into what they wanted him doing. You see the coaching staff working with him right now.
And again, a lot of have to do with your defensive philosophy. Some people's philosophy is to push everything to the middle. Some people would be to push it to the baseline and trap when you get to the baseline, and that'll vary from coach to coach.
This is a fun part of what we get to do here with Real Training Camp, though. I mean, we're getting to peek inside what goes on with an NBA team as they get started, and that was a great moment there as Person and Artest were working with character off the court, and then he steps on the court, and sure enough, going right back at it. The older guys, the veterans, working with the younger guys and making sure they understand where they're supposed to be and what's going on.
Those are secure veterans, because normally a guy coming after your job, you don't want to help him that much.
Character not test right there.
So you watch them now, they're breaking that plane because they're going to trap on that corner. The guy on the wing is going to force this guy baseline. Character forcing baseline. You see Luke Walton broke the plane of the court. So basically they look like they're going for a trap in that situation. That's why they're forcing them baseline side.
Again, we get a switch. Odom with the ball there. He's a guy that's going to be interesting to watch this season, Norm, in terms of, you know, again, he's a veteran, been around for a while, went through that FIBA tournament, got a lot of playing time.
Well, got a lot of playing time at center.
At center, right, but in terms of how his body holds up now through the season.
Well, he's an older guy, but again, he doesn't have to log those long minutes during the regular season. He's not playing 35, 40 minutes unless someone gets hurt. Now I think he'll play more minutes because you're going to be without Andrew Bynum. So he'll log more minutes now.
In the early part of the season.
Part of the season. And once Bynum gets back, you'll see his minutes decrease a little.
Now we're going to throw a little stuff into it now. We're going to have 3 defenders against the 4 offensive players.
Statement.
So one of our
We look at Phil Jackson here. One of the things
Ron, you step out.
we got to talk about during the course of our show here today is that this could be the last time he goes through this process, and it's certainly gonna be interesting to watch during the course of the season, see how he reacts and how much, if he looks at things a little bit differently.
Well, I think he looks at them differently, but it's hard to walk away from a championship team. I mean, if you had asked me to bet whether or not he would have come back this year, my money would have been on he's coming back. If this team wins another championship, it'd be very hard for Phil to walk away from that. I know he's saying that this is his last season, but if this team wins,
obviously you're not alone in that belief. There have been a number of people who have said the same thing. Of course, when he did make the announcement, you know, I'm looking forward to coming back for one more year with the Lakers, people kind of read into that.
well, that's right. Sasha is
you gotta stay
in my ear.
Ball. Stay there.
That is Sasha.
Ball. Good job, Fish. Ball. Shot.
Yes, Sasha Vujicic, one of the guys we have mic'd, and now you know why. He's definitely a vocal guy on the floor. No, I was saying, you know, I think that Phil definitely did. He kind of left the door open a little bit, and guys have talked to him during the course of press conferences, even since he returned here, about the fact that, you know, this is going to be his last year, and he hasn't said it for sure it is, also hasn't said for sure it isn't, but he's led people to believe that it is probably going to be his last year. But yeah, the door is certainly open there, and a lot of people have said the same thing you did, Norm, which is if they win the championship, it might be a good shot, and you're going to see him again.
I'll be more inclined to believe if they win, he'll be back.
Well, there you go.
Ball.
Middle, Sasha.
So you wonder if the opposing teams will start giving them gifts and stuff if they go through that whole routine at the end of the season.
Yeah, to be fair. Now, I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll wait for him to really announce that he's done. He'll have the opportunity to go through the league.
Drills continuing here at Real Training Camp, LA Lakers. Some of the new faces, we're enjoying getting to see them go through the steps here. Of course, there's Ron Artest. See Lamar Odom looking on in the background there. Work on a defensive drill here. We talked about Phil Jackson, and Coach Shaw is the guy that a lot of folks are saying might be the one to step in.
I think Phil had said he would love for Coach Shaw to be the one to take over if he does retire, because I think what that does is it guarantees consistency as far as offense, consistency on your bench. someone that all the players are familiar with. And I think Brian does a great job with the team. I would be very happy to see him step in that position.
Yes, sir.